How's it going, everybody? This is Tyler Driver. I hope you're having a great day, and welcome back to another video. Alright, it's time for another edition of Things That I Hate. In this series, I'll talk about all the things in life that really seem to tick me off, whether it's something that's just going on in my personal life, something that I see in the world or on TV, or just something that really annoys me. So this is a series about all the things that, even though I'm usually a happy-go-lucky guy, or things that will tick me off. And you know, one of the things that ticks me off the most is when I'm on the road. And obviously, I've already mentioned several times about traffic. Well, there could be another obstacle that I usually end up running into these days. And that's usually potholes. And man, there are a lot of them whenever I travel into Newark and out of it. I really don't know why, but it seems like in almost every street that I drive on, there's really almost like one or two potholes in like every single street that I come across on. And usually like every other week, once that one's patched up, literally another one literally forms. And it's just a problem that I just don't understand that continues to happen. I mean, literally, I try my best to try to avoid one, and literally when I swerve to the right to avoid one pothole, literally I end up running into another one. And really, that could risk doing a lot of damage to my car, but fortunately that has not really been the case, at least up to this point yet. But literally, I don't understand why it's a problem whenever I'm traveling in and out of Newark. Like, literally, I feel like that for some reason, construction on these streets sometimes is not as good as it really should be. No disrespect, Newark is a great place to work at whenever you have a good job or something like that, which I'm happy to have. But hey, if you're going to be able to drive into Newark and out, you're going to have safe roads, obviously. And one of those ways is to make sure that there are no potholes there. And unfortunately, there's just way too many of them there. And it could probably be the same with every other city there is in this universe as well. And I just hate that. And you want to know one of the things that those potholes can risk, staying on this topic by the way, is potential car problems, particularly like if it does any damage to it, and as a result, it could end up leading to your car potentially stalling or something like that, or maybe having something internally damaged as a result of anything like that. And unfortunately, I drive an old car. I mean, it has a lot of mileage on it. I'm obviously driving my dad's car, but you know, I have to keep storing it on and off because unfortunately, one of the problems that I'm having right now is that the battery on it is really old, and I have to keep going in, checking the hood, and make sure that the battery is on, just so that way it works. And unfortunately, even when I try to do that, so for some reason sometimes it's just still won't start. I mean, I've taken the car in multiple times because, you know, for multiple reasons, you know, the check engine light ends up coming on, and then also, you know, for some reason it tells me that I have to get it checked because there's something really dramatic that's really becoming a problem on it. And as a result, you know, there was one time like late last fall where I took the car to the garage multiple times, and yet I still kept having this problem. It's not just the battery, you know, it's the fact that this car is just really old, and at some point it is ultimately going to break out. And you know what, I'm hoping to have my own car. Unfortunately, you know, it's just become so much of a problem to try and find one nowadays because of, you know, like how far you have to go just to find one that's actually more affordable also, but really a lot of less mileage on it as well. Obviously, the only other solution that could have fixed this, and this is what I was really hoping that I would have done, was really just to have the battery replaced. But unfortunately, certain things kept that from happening, and I won't tell you what certain things are. But yeah, obviously, it sucks driving an old car. I would much prefer to have a car that's new and has less mileage, and really just, you know, something that's easier for me to drive. But unfortunately, the one that I was given, man, it looks like it's ready to go in the dumps at some point, and I just hate that. Those that know me know that I love first-person shooters, and Call of Duty and Medal of Honor specifically are two of my favorites. But man, one of the things that I just can't stand about them are the glitches. Whenever I'm just walking around, you know, like going to one area or another, there could be an enemy soldier that comes out of nowhere, literally when it looks like everything's all clear, and it literally just pulls a little bit of a juke on me, and literally he's not even like several feet on me, and yet already I'm just dead. Like, literally, how does that happen? I mean, literally, he just comes out of nowhere after camping. He doesn't even come close to hitting you, and yet for some reason it takes it as if a fatality or something like that. And then there are just multiple times, and this is one that really ticks me off, where I'm just walking around, and all of a sudden, literally within the last second, there's a grenade indicator that pops up, and literally within the millisecond that happens, it explodes and I'm already dead. I mean, that happens way too often, and even when I try to get away from it, even if I'm as far from it as possible, it feels like that the grenade just comes out of nowhere. And of course, there are a whole bunch of other games, like for example, you know, like let's say I'm playing like football or something like that, or maybe driving a racing game or something like that. There's those random glitches that happen out of nowhere that literally keeps me from winning games or races or anything like that. And it just takes me off. I mean, literally, could developers have been able to develop a game a lot better than the way they did there? Like, why? I'm sorry, look, I love video games. It's one thing that I'm just not going to give up for a very long time, and I enjoy doing it. But for me to really enjoy a game, bugs and glitches need to be taken care of. But in games like Call of Duty and Medal of Honor and a lot of other games and stuff like that, it happens way too often. And those are some of the things that really tick me off, because I feel like that I'm very close to winning, and then at the very last second, I have to start all over again. And I just hate that. Then of course, this is when I'm making videos, like for example, this one that I'll be making as soon as I'm finished filming here. I'm absolutely using Adobe Premiere on my computer, but the problem is I have a very old computer, just like I have a very old car out there, and just like that, it is a very problematic situation. Remember, if you have an old computer, there's a good chance that it's going to get slower and slower and slower until the day that ultimately the battery or something internally on it dies, and as a result, it ends up completely shutting off on you. And literally, whenever I'm editing a video on Adobe Premiere, it literally just takes way too long for me to be able to get something in there, because this computer I have is just so slow. And whenever I'm trying to do something like adding text or something like that, sometimes it'll just randomly crash or something like that. Like literally just out of nowhere. I'm trying to wait for it. Gets a few seconds, all of a sudden, boom, it crashes. I have to turn it off and I have to restart the whole thing, and it completely messes up the entire project. Literally, this is why I film videos on Tuesdays before uploading it on Wednesdays, and then film again on Fridays before uploading it on Saturdays, because of stuff like this happening. And just like the car, at some point I am going to get a new computer, because at some point that thing is going to die out. It looks like it's very close to happening at some point. But you know what? Look, as long as I still have it, I just want something that allows me to be able to edit all my videos and do whatever I want on my computer quickly. Not having to continuously deal with waiting several minutes, all because this computer is just way too slow to upload something, or maybe just go to a certain web browser or something like that. I don't know if that's the same thing that happens with you guys, but hey, even with antivirus protection on it, when it's old, and unfortunately, you're still gonna run into stuff like that. I wish we had better technology like that, but unfortunately, sometimes with old computers, that's just not meant to be, and I just hate that. Then there are times where I'm walking. Obviously, I enjoy going out for long walks. It's a good way to get exercise, and like I said before, at least 2 hours a day, I go out, go to Springfield, then go to Union, cross back into Springfield, and ultimately head back home. I mean, it's a good daily exercise, but sometimes there are people that just stop me to ask for directions. Where I'm just walking around. I'm just looking to get some exercise, something like that. I'm not planning on doing anything else, something like that. And yet there's some random person that asks me, hey, do you know where the certain CVS is? Do you know where the certain bus stop is? Or do you know where I can find a certain product? I'm not a GPS. I'm just out to go get some fresh air and just get a walk. Look, I can help you definitely when I'm at work, and I can definitely help you out if I know exactly what you're talking about. But unless I'm really in a good mood or something like that, whenever I'm out walking, please just let me go out on a walk. I'm not a GPS, and I don't know everything there is on the map. And unfortunately, the more this happens, the only thing it wastes more of is time. And sometimes, there are a lot of other things that I have to deal with during the day. I can't afford to just stay there and help somebody when I don't know exactly what it is that they want. Look, I love helping people, but there are some things that are completely out of my control. So whenever I'm out for a walk, I'm just hoping to go for a straight 2-hour walk. Don't stop me for something that I don't know about, because otherwise you're just wasting my time, and I just hate that. Then of course there were times where I was working as a cashier, at a ShopRite or even a Burger King or a CVS or something like that. Obviously I do my best to be a friendly person, obviously, and so maybe sometimes whenever I'm taking a transaction or something like that, I do a small talk with some of the customers, and let's say for example, like yesterday was Valentine's Day. There was one person that I was speaking to like a few years ago, in which I just had a little bit of small talk with him, see how they were doing, and it went a little bit like this. Hey, how you doing today? There's really not much going on. You got any plans for Valentine's Day? Unfortunately, I'm single, and unfortunately, I usually live a very depressed and very lonely life, so unfortunately, I don't think there's anything going on right now. Why would you put me in that situation? I mean, now I gotta have to look at you awkwardly while I'm completing the rest of your transaction, and now you're gonna make me regret ever trying to talk to you whatsoever to see how you're doing. I mean, like, come on, I have a job to do, but can't you at least not say something like that? I mean, it just puts me in an awkward situation. I don't want to be like that. I'm a friendly guy, and I really love to be around people, and like maybe have a chance to talk to them a little bit while I'm taking their orders, or like just doing simple work or stuff like that. But the moment something like that happens, it puts me in an uncomfortable position where I may have to say something that might either put me in a bad spot or make things even worse. And I just don't want to be put in that situation. Trust me, I just hate that. Then there are the New York Jets, man. The front office. And really, this is just more about their QB situation. I thought we finally had it with Zach Wilson. This is not the first time that I have had my beef with the Jets front office. I thought after we drafted Mark Sanchez and we made it to the AFC Championship game his first 2 seasons as QB, I thought we finally had that guy. Then, unfortunately, he just had a slow decline, and unfortunately, the butt fumble happened, and then he just dropped off from there. That's not the only failed QB we had. We had Geno Smith then, who he took him during the 2013 draft. Unfortunately, after a couple seasons, he was gone. Obviously, he's finally having success in Seattle now, so congrats to him. Then I thought we finally had it with Sam Darnold, but unfortunately, then Adam Gase, of all people, showed up, and then he just collapsed from there, and it looks like he's slowly showing success in Carolina. And now we have Zach Wilson. I thought we finally had it with this guy, but it turns out this guy, he really just can't play QB whatsoever. This is the problem that I have with the New York Jets. I'm a die-hard Gang Green guy, but unfortunately the reason why we have not been in the playoffs for 12 years is because we just cannot handle our QB situation. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with this, but I'm already losing faith in Zach Wilson, and unfortunately, I don't know that unless we can find Aaron Rodgers or Jimmy Garoppolo or something like that, I just don't feel like this situation is going to get any better. And unfortunately, that has a lot to do with this Jets front office. This upcoming season is Joe Douglas' last chance to really make something happen. And if we can't find a QB that can really get us back into the playoffs this upcoming season, and unfortunately, he's going to have to go. Because at this point, this QB situation, when we have not been in the playoffs for nearly a decade, it's really going to be going way too far. If it hasn't already gone too far at this point. But at some point, it has to end. And the fact that this is still taking too long, I just hate that. And finally, oh boy. What is wrong with my Brooklyn Nets and their front office? Oh my God. What is wrong with them? We had a super team. We had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant join us in 2019. And then we bring in James Harden in the middle of the 2020-21 season. You would expect that with a super team like that, we would be able to find a way to make it all happen and finally get the Nets an NBA championship, which is what I thought we would have had if we were still in New Jersey. But as we all know, with Kyrie Irving, he ends up only generating more drama than it really should be, and now he's gone. And obviously Kevin Durant, he's gone now. He's with Phoenix. And obviously James Harden, he got traded to Philadelphia, and now we're stuck with Ben Simmons and a whole bunch of other players that probably have never even made an appearance in an All-Star game or stuff like that. And I'm fearing now for a second half collapse. I just hate it, man. We had so much hope for this upcoming season and so much hope for this future with this Brooklyn Nets squad. All because we had these so many great players, so many great guys out on our team, and even a great head coach with Steve Nash, even with his prior basketball knowledge and experience. I thought we would be able to make everything happen, but no, the expectations apparently were just too much in. If we were going to have a super team like this, it should have been a whole lot better managed. And unfortunately, the front office did not do that. There were way too many decisions that we had that ultimately ended up going in the opposite direction, and now look at where we're at. It just pisses me off as to why I'm still a Brooklyn Nets fan after all of this. Now, I'm not saying the same thing would have happened if we were in the New York Knicks and Irving, Durant, and Harden ended up there, but I'm telling you, I'm a lifelong Nets fan, even when they were still in New Jersey. And for me, I thought this was the perfect team. I thought we were going to find a way to make it happen. And unfortunately, there was just way too many things that made it completely screwed as a result. I'm a diehard Nets fan, but man, watching these guys go for all the wrong reasons, it just pisses me off. I feel like now that we just had a super team for nothing, and I just hate that. Alright, that's it for all the venting for today. Obviously, those are just some of the things that tick me off, but I know that there are some things that might tick you off as well. So let me ask you, what are some of the things that happen in your life that you personally hate? Feel free to let me know down in the comments below, and I'll be more interested in hearing your stories. Anyways, that's going to do it for another video. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when my latest video is released. Comment below for future suggestions for all my videos, whether it's vlogs, projects, or challenges, you name it. Leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to make them. As always, follow me on my social media. All the links are in the description below. That's going to do it for another midweek upload. I hope you're having another great day. As always, I hope to see all of you again in another video very soon. So long, everybody.